the defending champions, the #1 team in D3, Mary Hardin Baylor. Mount Union, the Purple Raiders, #2 in the country. 1 versus 2. Toe meeting leather, and we're underway. Kick will be a little bit short and returnable from the 5-yard line. 25 and a solid hit there, and that ends everything at the 25-yard line. And now we'll take a look here at D'Angelo Fulford. And that is utterly ridiculous. 49-3. You can't do that in your backyard. Never mind when people are trying to beat you.
And you look, he's the highest rated quarterback in Division III. Almost 70% completion. And that shows his accuracy because he throws the ball down the field quite a bit. Tightening the straps, ready to go.
Evans Morris, #6, is the tailback, and he motions out of the backfield. And throwing. Low, but caught. Great catch there by Luke Harrington. His 23rd grab of the year, nets them 12 yards and a first down for the Purple Raiders.
New little wrinkle, they motion the back outside to spread out the defense even more. And that's a really nice grab, sliding by Harrington to move the chains on the first play from scrimmage.
Now the first carry and into a pile, and this is a hard team to run against, this crew defense. 1 yard there. Just give you some numbers on this Mary Hardin Baylor defense. 7 points per game, that's it. Under 50 yards rushing per game. 175 yards passing per game, so your total is just a shade under 223 on average. You see their rankings and where they are in D3.
Amazingly, Dave, they play mostly a cover 2. Just 4 guys up front, cover 2 behind. That's what they're in right now. And they have variations and adjustments to it, but that's their bread and butter.
Telford, quick drop. He'll escape the pocket. And he will not, however, escape the tackle of number 24, Jalen Martin, a junior from Round Rock, Texas. That's a 3-yard pickup, sets us up at 3rd and 6.
This secondary for Mary Hardin Baylor, they fly around the field like nobody I've seen. All these guys run extremely well, and within their scheme, they get released to come up and make plays just like Martin did there.
They are almost to a man from the state of Texas on this Mary Hardin Baylor team.
Pretty fertile recruiting grounds down where they're at.
Telford, pocket collapsing. He'll escape. He's got a little room if he wants it. There's the little option over to Justin Hill, and Hill, who had 11 catches in the semifinal, will take it into crew territory. An 18-yard pickup and a first down.
And Justin Hill is the safety blanket for Fulford. This is what they wanted to prevent him from doing, extending plays with his legs, and then he finds that security blanket in Hill. And Mount Union, the Raiders, on a move here.
Let me correct something. It was Jared Ruth who had the 11 catches, but Hill against Oshkosh had a great game. 6 catches for 102. Telford escaping early, and it's almost intercepted at the 35-yard line. That was Martin, who could have had his second INT of the season. A lot of pressure there from Eric Wright, number 53. Let's take a look at how these two teams plan for success, brought to you by Northwestern Mutual, Ray.
Yeah, and Mount Union has to have big plays on offense because this defense is just too good. You're going to have to strike them deep at some point. Then they have to win the special teams battle because Mary Hardin Baylor is extremely good scoring on special teams. And then Mary Hardin Baylor, they got to run the ball effectively, and that'll set things up for their passing game with Carl Robinson. And then they have to contain Fulford, which they have not done here on this first drive.
On 2nd and 10, a run up the gut. That'll be 4 yards to the 35 by Evans Morris, a junior from Coral Springs, Florida. Millar and Fuller in there on the stop. Number 41, A.J. Fanene coming back in. He took a couple of plays to rest, perhaps bothered by whatever was ailing him about a half hour prior to kickoff. But keep an eye on 41 in yellow. 19.5 tackles for a loss, 16 sacks, 4 forced fumbles this year.
And they'll move him around and try him on different guys, kind of looking for that fish in that matchup. I don't know if they're going to find any tonight.
High snap, Fulford in some trouble. Fanene found a fish. That'll be a loss back to the 38-yard line, and you saw the quickness of Fanene that time. Tolford juggled that high snap, and it ends up 4th down and long.
And you're going to see here he is over on that side, and he's just coming around the edge. And
ball came out, too.
Yeah, and the quickness and his ability to get off the ball really stopped that one before it got anywhere.
That was nearly a turnover forced there. Now keep an eye on this cat right here, number 1, Bryce Wilkerson. We're not lying when we tell you the 11 kick returns for a touchdown.
We've got 3 punt returns for a touchdown this year and 2 kickoffs in just this season alone.
So do you kick to him?
No.
No, you do not. This is a wobbler, and it's a good one.
Yes.
It went out of bounds.
We talked to Vince Karras about that, and he says, you know, the plan is always not to kick to him. But he says, but next thing you know, your kicker nails one down the middle of the field. So they're trying not to, and they did a good job of it there.
Well, that is a 25-yard punt that Adam Snyder did a great job on there. As you take a look at Vince Karras, he took over the job from his father, and in his 5th season, an unbelievable 94.5 win percentage. And in the championship game, 4 of the last 5, they won it in 2015. Now Carl Robinson III, number 30 at quarterback. And a lot of window dressing there, but it's a straight ahead handoff for a yard or 2 with Markeith Miller. Carl Robinson, Ray, did not start the season as the Crew number 1 quarterback.
No, he actually started on the JV team for them and played extremely well. They beat their rival Hardin Simmons on a late comeback and led by Carl Robinson, and that kind of opened some eyes, and they brought him up to the varsity, and now he's starting here for the 7th consecutive week, and he's been really good for him.
Yeah, 10 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, almost 70% accuracy.
And he's a running threat, and that's why they put him in there initially.
And he's going to keep it right there, and a good example of it. He faked the slide and gets cut down just outside the 20-yard line. He's going to be about a yard short of the 1st down. Colin Crenshaw in there on the stop, number 3.
Little zone read action here. You're going to see him. He's reading the edge, and the linebacker, number 4, Danny Robinson, got caught inside, and that's why Carl Robinson pulled that thing and took off.
So mass substitutions now here for Mary Hardin Baylor. 34, Marquise Duncan comes in. And this looks like it could be a really interesting formation in the backfield.
Yeah, you're going to get a full house out of the shotgun, and this is their power formation.
And TJ Josie is the man with the football right here. He started the season at quarterback. He escapes one. Can he get to the mark? It's close. I think he got it. So they went Wildcat with the guy who started the season at quarterback and played 3 games, TJ Josie. They've actually had 3 quarterbacks starting, counting Kyle Jones. You see what he did there in his 4 starts. But Carl Robinson has taken over, and he will come back out to take his rightful position at quarterback. Josie is a very good wide receiver as well.
He's an incredible athlete, and you're right, he's an outstanding receiver. They moved him to quarterback from receiver in the spring, and they just didn't feel like it meshed, and so they gave Kyle Jones a shot, and they didn't feel like he could run the ball well enough for him, and that's when Robinson came on the picture.
Robinson fakes there, now escapes 2 defenders with a nice move and drags a tackler to the 30-yard line. That's almost 7, maybe an 8-yard pickup. Nick Brish, number 37, getting some playing time today with Charlie Deere, one of the team captains for the Purple Raiders, not able to go today. Pete Fredenberg, as long as there's been Mary Hardin Baylor football.
There's been Coach Fred.
Yep, and you see his record, unbelievable as well.
Yeah, and his plan 20 years ago was just, spend a few years there so he could keep his son in the same school to graduate from high school. He said he fell in love with the kids and never looked back.
And this time, nothing for Markeith Miller. The right side of the Mount Union defense led by Captain Michael Vidal, a senior out of Miami. This is a surprising number of South Floridians on this Mount Union roster. He's there on the stop.
Yeah, and we talked a lot about Mary Hardin Baylor's defense, but the Raiders play some really good defense as well. And Vidal, he just beat his man with an inside move and finishes the play. We have 2 very good defenses here, Dave. When they played last year in the semifinals, the final of that game was 14-12.
The Crew yet to put the ball in the air. 3rd and about 2.5. Now they'll have a first little flip out there. It's going to be caught, and it's going to be a first down and a little bit more. Miller making the grab there. Trimmed up by Brish. gain of 6 and another first down for Mary Hardin Baylor.
I really like Carl Robinson's patience. He took a lot of time with his fake to the opposite direction before coming back and throwing the football. A lot of times with those young quarterbacks, they try to hurry everything. Robinson is very patient back there. That might be one of his best attributes at this point.
You even notice that sometimes his best throws aren't necessarily his most sound mechanical ones.
Yeah, he's so athletic. His footwork isn't right, but he still can zing the ball where it needs to go.
He zings it here, and breaking one tackle, the catch made by John L. Reed, his 27th grab of the year. That's going to move the chains for another first down for MHB.
And this is typical of how the crew starts a ball game. They'll run the ball, they'll get the feeling, and then they start throwing Robinson just to the edges, the perimeter. And then maybe in a play or two, they're going to take that deep shot because Robinson does throw a nice deep ball.
Stag Bowl 45 in the first quarter. The number 1 and 2 teams in Division III football going at it right now. Number 1 has the ball. And Miller just disappears into an array of purple. Brish with another stop there, a gain of 2, 2nd down and 8. This is only the 4th meeting between these. Every time they meet, it's high-stakes football. The other 3 have been in semifinals, and Mary Hardin Baylor leads it 2-1.
Every game they've played against each other has been very competitive, one-score games.
9th play of the drive, that began of their own 12. They are still not in Mount Union territory. Robinson, they brought pressure from the corner. What a great read by Gabe Brown, the sophomore from the Tampa area, Plant City, who absolutely destroyed that play for a loss back to the 43-yard line.
Yeah, and this is how you get her done right here. And you're going to see him right here on the edge, and he's going to keep his eyes on the deal, backed out a little bit, and then that's how you make an open field tackle. We saw Robinson shake 2 guys in a similar situation earlier, but not Gabe Brown. He's a sure tackler and the top defender, I think, on this Mount Union defense.
Loss of 6, 3rd down, 14.
Blitz.
Robinson in a lot of trouble here. Going to have to throw it away. Smart throw that time, and there's some of the patience, Ray. He might have thought about throwing it across the field, across his body, but with Elijah Berry chasing him, he decided just throwing it away and live to fight another day, so Zane Bowles will come on to punt.
And Bowles is an interesting punter to me. He's 6'5", 220, one of the biggest kids on the team, and he really takes long strides. If I'm Mount Union at some point tonight, I'm going to come after him. Watch these big strides Bowles will take before he kicks the football.
Had to actually scoop up that and gets off a good kick, wind aided, and it'll be caught at the 16-yard line there by Jared Ruth. He'll get to the 20, and that will be the end of that. 0-0. Both teams have been battle tested. Now they're ready to continue this opening quarter.
Quarterback keeper. Touchdown. Davis keeps. He's in.
Excellent call, excellent drive.
He's going to throw. He's got a man. It's complete.
Are you kidding me?
Mary Hardin Baylor takes out the defending national champs.
And they would go on to win that title a year ago. They are back undefeated. They've won 29 consecutive games, and we're knotted up here at 0. Second drive coming up for the Purple Raiders of Mount Union and the quarterback, D'Angelo Fulford.
And it was fun talking to Coach Fred about that win. He said, his whole life he had never won a big championship. And finally to have that last year after 40-plus years of coaching, he said there's nothing like it. People asked if he was going to retire and go out on top. He said, no, I want more of this.
Short drop for Fulford. Gets away from Fanene, who's going to chase him for sure. Fulford's going to get to the 24, maybe the 25-yard line for a 5-yard gain. Our impact players, take a look at one of them right there.
Yeah, Cole Parrish, the center. I mean, he is the leader of this offense. He's the engine. He keeps them going. And he's got his hands full today against Adams because Adams is outstanding. Adams probably is the one guy on this field that you might see play on Sundays. He's got that size inside. I think he's got a little more room to grow. He's already 300 pounds, and he can flat out play.
Now running to the right is Evans Morris, and And there you see an excellent example of the team speed Ray mentioned earlier. No gain on the play, and it'll be 3rd down and 5. Leading that rush that time, Chris Brown, number 2.
And you saw the corner, number 7, Reginald Cole, attack that thing. And that's something that the crew defense does. They'll send their corners, if they get the right key, they'll come flying in there, and there's no one to block them. And they make a lot of plays from the edge.
Pocket collapsing, throw over the middle, incomplete down the seam, trying to hit number 17, Luke Harrington. He was covered very well there by the middle linebacker, Tommy Brown, and it's going to be 4th down and 5. And now field position could be big because they'll be punting into the wind.
And this is a Tampa 2 where the middle linebacker, Tommy Brown, has to carry the vertical route up the middle of the field. Did an outstanding job. No way Fulford could get it in there.
So Adam Snyder, a junior out of Baltimore, who averages a little over 37 per punt. And again, the breeze here, it looks like it's a little lighter, but it's still pretty steady.
Where do you kick this one?
Oh yeah, Wilkerson hanging around that 45-yard line waiting. Well, he kicked this high. It's a great kick, and it's out of bounds.
Depends on where it went out, but he bombed it. But it's pretty obvious they're not going to kick to him.
He got to the 40-yard line, so far Adam Snyder has been an MVP for Mount Union. Take a look there at beautiful downtown Roanoke. It's been our host for this NCAA Division III football championship, the Stag Bowl. Tomorrow on ABC, 2 college football bowl games for you. At noon Eastern, Grambling, the SWAC champs, taking on North Carolina A&T, the MEAC champs at the 3rd annual Celebration Bowl. Both come in on 11-game win streaks. And at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, for 25, Boise State runs their consecutive bowl streak to 16, taking on Justin Herbert and the Oregon Ducks. Both games available, of course, on the ESPN app. And by the way, nice move there by Oregon to hire Mario Cristobal, make him the permanent coach. Well, as permanent as you can be in this sport.
Yes. Permanent until you're not.
Yeah, Markeith Miller with a solid 5-yard pickup. 2nd possession, and here you get a little idea of what the wind has done. That was a solid kick. And as much as he could put into that, but still great field position here for Mary Hardin Baylor. Our impact players switching things around, and there's another matchup we haven't really seen develop yet.
No, you got Bryce Wilkerson, the wide receiver, and for the most part tonight, you're going to see Colin Crenshaw matched up on him. That's not the match he drew now, but when he's in the slot, it's on Crenshaw to take him away, and a lot of man-to-man stuff.
Yeah, Gabe Brown is on him right now. Staying on the ground, and Miller will get a yard before he is shoved back. Danny Robinson, number 4, and Adam Mahoki, 92. Stopped that after a 1-yard pickup. The defensive coordinator, you're looking at him right there.
Yeah, Vince Karras played at Mount Union as a defensive lineman and started coaching here and coached on the defensive side of things. And then when his dad gave it up, he took over and continued to be the defensive coordinator and the head coach.
2 out of 3 on 3rd downs. Mount Union gives up only 28% on 3rd down during the season. Robinson's in a little bit of trouble. Throws, has a man, caught, 1st down, 42-yard line. Catch made by Denarian Thomas.
That was one of those athletic plays that I talked about with Carl Robinson. Able to move on the run, and he's going to run into some trouble here, so he's got to pull the brakes on. You see him look around a little bit, and then boom, finds his guy and throws it perfectly in between the 1 and the 2 on Denarian Thomas.
So now, Mary Hardin Baylor is in Mount Union territory. Fast pace, and so far, penalty-free 1st quarter.
See if they take a shot from this area of the field here.
Wind at their backs. Nope, going to go right up the gut. And 1 yard. Yep, they're going to stop at the 41-yard line. And you saw number 43, Trey Williams. He got the start over the injured Charlie Deere, and Williams has plenty of experience as a sophomore.
Yeah, Williams, he had basically rotated in anyway, so it's not like they had to pull him off the truck and throw him out in the ball game. He's been playing a lot. You see, no huddle, but a very deliberate pace from both of these teams. And we'll see some tempo, but just in very special situations.
Now Robinson's got all kind of time. He's going to fire. Coming back for the football and unable to hang on was Reed, number 20, who broke back. But the pass came out just a little bit low. Let me ask you, Ray, the difference now throwing with the wind at your back as Robinson is doing as opposed to what Fulford has had to do in this first quarter with the wind in his face.
With this wind, it's a lot easier, obviously, throwing with the wind. But you got to be careful because it can lift that ball up and you can overthrow it. But the way that Fulford throws the ball, he throws that wind-cutting ball. He can zing it, right through the wind.
Robinson, 3 out of 5, 29 yards.
He wanted to go deep on that last play to Wilkerson, but it was well covered.
He's going to keep it this time. It bounces it to the left, and he's got room to get to the marker for the first down. He will do so. Nobody will touch him, and he steps out at the 30-yard line for a first down, chased by Trevor Cox.
This is what they like about Robinson, his ability to make something happen when it doesn't look very good. Got a nice block from Markeith Miller, who basically stymied Nick Brish and allowed Robinson to get the corner.
Yeah, you could see Robinson read Brish that time, and once Brish broke a little bit inside and Miller tied him up, he was off. And now 20 yards on the ground for Robinson in 4 tries.
Reverse.
Yeah, a little trick play coming up here. And they tried to get the traffic going left while they went to the right. It'll be a gain of 6 to the 24-yard line as Markeith Miller ended up. They tried to use Thomas and Robinson as decoys. Robinson and Elijah Berry on the stop.
And both these teams are used to taking big leads, as you see the way they've outscored their opponents in the first quarter. But they wouldn't play in people like they are, you know.
They haven't played each other.
Right.
Right. They come from different conferences. 8th play of the drive coming up here. Miller. That's good tackle right there. Great form. 43. That's Trey Williams. Stopped him short of the first down. This could well be 2-down territory here. It's 3rd down and 3, and it also could be the last play of the quarter.
Vince Karras dialed up a blitz for his defense, and he picked the right spot to bring it, bringing Williams right into the face of the play.
No, we have a timeout called here with 12 seconds to go.
Well, they want the wind if they're going to kick a field goal maybe here, but it is only 3rd down. Maybe they want to throw it one more time with the wind.
So 3rd and 3, a dozen seconds remaining. And we are at the 23-yard line. We will see how this plan is going to be executed when we return to Salem and the Stag Bowl.
Oklahoma, Georgia, and Clemson, Alabama. New Year's Day on ESPN.
A lot to look forward to there, a lot to look forward to here. 2 additional seconds were added to the clock, now 14 left. And it almost looks like they may be playing this like the end of a 4th quarter, trying to use the wind to their advantage. Let's see.
I wouldn't be surprised if they take a timeout here if they don't get the first down.
Robinson's going to keep it. He's going to get the first down. All right, no trouble at all. Stopped just shy of the 15-yard line. 16 seconds remaining, and we're not going to be worrying about any wind and field goals here as this drive continues.
Yeah, and I believe they'll let it run out now at this point.
And you are absolutely correct, sir. 1 quarter down, 0-0 between number 1, Mary Hardin Baylor, and number 2, Mount Union for the championship. Stag Bowl 45, last one in Salem, Virginia.
Welcome back to the Stag Bowl. No score as we start the second quarter, but Mary Hardin Baylor is threatening behind quarterback Carl Robinson. Now, this is a guy who is known for his work ethic, and he said that comes from his parents. They're both military, based out of Fort Hood in Texas. Dad, a U.S. Army major who served in Iraq and Afghanistan. Guys, he said his dad would wake him up at 5 a.m. every day when he wasn't deployed so the two could work out. That's why he said he's been able to get to this starting position so quick after he started out on the JV this season.
Well, there's no doubt, Dawn, thank you very much, that his parents are very, very proud. And here comes a trick play with Wilkerson with it, trying to use his speed. First time he's had an impact in this game, and really Mount Union was prepared for that. No gain on the play, so they tried to get the ball to the speedster Wilkerson, and Danny Robinson, the linebacker, in there on the stop. First touch.
Robinson's very fast, Dave. He runs the field really good from that inside linebacker spot. Good vision. Saw the reverse coming, kept his leverage, and basically ran Wilkerson right out of bounds.
Yeah, Robinson is from Massillon, Ohio. Everybody around the country well aware of the quality of high school football played in Massillon and that whole area, Akron, Canton, all of that. That's someplace for high school football. Straight drop back for Robinson. Now they screen, and it's read beautifully at the 20-yard line, and that's going to be a loss. The catch was made by Reed, the tight end, and 37, Nick Brish, anticipated, and it's 3rd and long.
And Brish wasn't a starter initially. Brian Groves was the outside linebacker, but he got injured, and Brish came in, and there was no drop-off at all, and you can see he's a good football player. Busted up that screen by himself. If he don't make that play, that might have been 6 points for the Crew.
Now it's 3rd down and 13. Some late substitutions as Reed will check out.
Put Brock Houston, the tight end, in that slot.
There's 3 3rd down conversions on this drive. Robinson, pocket collapsing. He's hit, he's brought down. That's a sack. First one of the ball game. And the 43rd by the Purple Raiders defense this time.
By number 43. Trey Williams getting the start today because Charlie Deere is injured, and he just basically comes up on a green dog. He didn't initially blitz. He had coverage on one of the backs. The back stayed in, so he came after the quarterback and makes a big sack.
So
excuse me, Dave, they're going to go for it here with a 4th and really long, it looks like.
Yep, they need 18 for the first down.
And the field goal would be against the wind and about 41 yards, so too many.
They ran out of time. Yeah, they were facing a 5-yard penalty. We have still not had a flag in this game. And so the second timeout used in this half by Mary Hardin Baylor.
Carl Robinson trying to explain himself to Bryce Wilkerson there.
ESPN's NCAA coverage continues tomorrow with the D2 championship on ESPN2 at 6 p.m. For more information, go to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Got to say, on behalf of Ray and Dawn, we're just honored to be here. This is really thrilling for us. You get a chance to call a championship, and a little bit bittersweet in this area, Ray, as this will be the final time we think that Salem, Virginia, which is hosted for seemingly forever, will host this 25 straight championships. We're moving to Shenandoah, Texas, which actually is not all that far from where Mary Hardin Baylor is located, and then we'll go to Canton, and what's going to be the new stadium around the Hall of Fame there. A lot of buzz around what that's going to look like. So,
well, Mary Hardin Baylor, Dave, is co-hosting the championship, and you see it. They're 135 miles from Shenandoah, which is a Houston suburb. And then for Mount Union, they're not hosting it when it's at Canton, but they're pretty close. They'll be involved in one way or another.
So let's see what the play call is here on 4th and 18. There might even be the possibility of a little pooch here by Robinson to really pin back. But, man, you can't – if that doesn't go perfectly, and it's just a touchback.
That's throw to that guy that got circled there.
He's going to try to throw it here and get it all right back. Coming back to the ball, making the grab. But it will not be a first down. But tell you what, it does not give Mount Union great field position. That was a tremendous catch by Wilkerson down to the 12-yard line. But it'll be first down.
And this is effective as a punt. They make the play. They get it to Wilkerson. They don't move the chains, but Mount Union's backed up when we come back.
Gotcha. Yeah, close to the hotel.
Thank you, sir.
Take a look there at the Winners Farmer Market and this NCAA Division III football championship presented by Northwestern Mutual. It's a great little area in downtown Roanoke. A lot of restaurants, places to go and hang out, do a little shopping, perhaps buy blankets to get through a game on a cold and windy night here. Temperature feels like it's in the lower 20s. From the 12-yard line, now the first time that the Purple Raiders will have the football with the wind at their backs. And Fulford taken off. Short of the first down by a couple of yards, a gain of 8. We have our first penalty marker on play.
That flag needs some laundry. This is the dirtiest, dingiest flag I've seen.
So holding called against the Purple Raiders, and yeah, maybe a little bleach.
Yeah.
You don't want to bleach all the yellow out either, because then it's no good.
Probably his first flag, and he's had it forever, and doesn't want to, if he washes it, it might fall apart, right?
It's his lucky flag, yes. That's it. First down and 16 now after the penalty. First one of the evening. Josh Petroselli, number 23, is checked into the tailback. He'll get it. And he won't get far. It is really hard to run on the crew.
And big 96, Haston Adams, the ASC Defensive Player of the Year. He filled the hole. There was nowhere for Petroselli to go. And Adams has been doing that all season. And this defense, you look at that stat right there. They just don't let you get anything. And they don't, it's not like they're fooling you. They line up in that cover 2 with that good defensive front. Linebackers that fly around, and you can't move the ball. I mean, right now, Mount Union's rushed the ball 7 times for a grand total of 7 yards.
And their offense, is as good as any in Division III, if not the very best. Very explosive, but getting nowhere again. It's going to be third down and very long. Fuller and Millar, 99 and 94. Well, you go through the numbers on this front. Millar, 14.5 tackles for a loss, 7 sacks. Fuller, 16 TFL, 5.5 sacks. Adams, 20.5 TFL, 4.5 sacks. Fanene, 19.5 and 16 sacks.
When you have a defensive front like that, you can play cover 2 all day long because you don't need help in the box. Those guys slam the box closed.
Right now, Mount Union's averaging less than 2 yards a rush. They're going to have to go to the air here, it seems. Fulford, that was a sweet move to get away. Going all the way he can, and he overthrew the intended receiver there, Cole Moxey, the tight end, who had gotten behind the defense. Fulford threw everything he could into that. It's going to be fourth down, and again, field position could well favor the crew here one more time.
Watch his flip turn by Fulford. He feels that pressure. He's going to whip it around, get his eyes back down the field. And I got to tell you, if Moxey hadn't stopped and just kept running, that thing would have hit him right in the chest. I don't know if he felt his quarterback could throw it that far.
Now, for the first time, Adam Snyder, who's kicked well, is going to have the wind at his back. He's, of course, punting from deep into his own end zone. He doesn't want to kick it to Bryce Wilkerson. He's kicked 2 out of bounds so far.
It's between a rock and a hard place here.
Well, they went after him, and he's going to kick it to Wilkerson. Wilkerson's got room, too.
Look out.
Wilkerson to the 40, 35. Wilkerson pointing where he wants his block. Now he can point to the end zone. There's a flag down in the end zone that happened not long after the kick. So we're going to find out if this is going to hold up or not. Now you see why they don't want to kick to Bryce Wilkerson.
Exactly. There was a guy coming into the punter late. Did he rough him?
Running into the kicker. Repeat fourth down.
Wow, dodged a bullet. I saw the guy coming in late, but obviously watched the football. And you run into the kicker. That's a really bad penalty. And you see, hit the foot. Number 40 came in and caught the foot of the punter, knocking him down. That's D. Jackson, who is guilty of the infraction. But now we just get another chance to see Wilkerson maybe return it again.
Yeah, you saw Snyder. I don't know if he was lobbying for the 15-yard version, but he's going to still kick from the end zone. But there you saw, plus, the kick was short. They didn't have,
there was no coverage.
Fast, there was no coverage. It was the perfect setup for Wilkerson to bust him on there. This time he kicks it to Wilkerson's right, and it's a good kick.
A great kick.
Yeah, it's going to take a favorable bounce. And at the 43-yard line, that's a 44-yard punt, and this one was not returned. We just had a touchdown taken off the board. Mary Hardin Baylor's ball when we return.
NCAA Division III Football Championship, brought to you by Crest. Healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
This is Stag Bowl 45, named after the man who played college football at Yale, helped organize the Big Ten, coached two centuries back at the University of Chicago, coached a guy named James Naismith who invented basketball. You're talking about the man who invented the tackling dummy, the huddle, the lateral, putting a man in motion, putting numbers on uniforms, awarding letters. Unbelievable.
Yeah, Newt Rockne, they used to ask him where he got his plays. He said, I got them all from Stag.
And he said Stag got him from God.
Yes.
So a 2-yard pickup on the keeper that time from the quarterback, Carl Robinson. And you can see both of these defenses just swarm. It doesn't seem to matter what you do. Both the Purple Raiders and the Crew defensively looking really solid here in the early going. And we've seen what I would consider, Ray, rather conservative offensive game plans, although Mary Hardin Baylor has tried one-trick play.
And they're looking to see if this was a fumble, but the momentum was stopped. And so they're going to challenge it over on Vince Karras on the Mount Union sideline.
Well, the ball was taken.
The thing about it, though, it's a quarterback running, and his forward movement had stopped. He was being pushed back. Did the whistle blow is my only question. So a lot of times they'll blow that whistle when the guy gets moving backwards.
The previous play is under review.
Yeah, we apologize. Ref's mic is a little bit squirrely tonight, but the play is going to be reviewed, so we'll take good look with you. It did look like the ball was wrestled from Carl Robinson.
Yeah, no question about that. Dennis Jackson and James Robinson, our replay officials, are looking at it, and you can see the ball's being torn and ripped at. And
that's Lewis Berry, number 33, with the football.
Berry ends up with it, no question about it. But did the whistle blow is the only question.
Well, you can hear,
there's no doubt it was taken away.
Across from where we are seated, the Mount Union fans, I don't know whether they have the app out and they're watching the replay live, because you can hear a few of them yell every time we show it that they are convinced that the ruling on the field of the ball carrier being down is wrong. So we're going to listen to this play and see if we hear a whistle.
Yeah. I think the whistle blew before the ball changed hands.
Well, the referee was the one who made the call, pointing firmly to it's down, it's down, it's down. Will the replay booth find enough evidence to overturn the call? We're going to find out right now.
My question is, do they get to hear the whistle? Because that's what this is about.
Right.
I don't know if they have audio in there.
The ruling is that the runner's forward progress to stop at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, it's not reviewable. Yeah, I was going to say, if it came to that, then it's not a reviewable play. And that's not going to sit very well at all.
You think?
With Vince Karras. And
Come on, he said.
You know, I got to be honest, I don't blame him, because the ball was coming out, in my view, when the whistle blew. But we're going to go with the call on the field, and that's going to be forward progress was stopped. It's second down.
Yeah, once they ruled that the forward progress was stopped, then it's not a reviewable situation. Yet they did review it.
Straight ahead and finding a little bit of a gap in that Mount Union defense to the 49-yard line. Markeith Miller, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons for this junior from Garland, Texas. Kenny Wilder in there on the stop.
And when we talked to Coach Fred, he said that it's really one of the key things in this game is Markeith Miller has to get it going. He's the engine of this offense, and that was one of my keys. They have to be able to run the football consistently to open up their pass game against this Mount Union defense. Thus far, Miller has not gotten off very good. 9 carries, 23 yards.
His 10th carry is not going to help his average. So he's short of the first down, but only by about a yard. I don't think they'll go for it here.
I don't know. I think you punt it because
you're right.
You're winning the field position battle, and they haven't done anything to your defense. Why take a chance and give them good field position? So I think this is a good call to punt the football. Now, they did run a fake last year against Mount Union. That was a big part of this game. Maybe they got something up their sleeve.
Plus, Mount Union has not been able to they've not had good field position all night.
And their initial drive, they knocked off 31 yards and still had to punt. And since that time, the field has been tilted.
And Bowles takes off. and he will be stopped short. He will not get the first down.
I mentioned he's the biggest kid on this team, basically, height-wise, 6'5". And with those long strides, they took a shot with him. I think he had the option to either kick it or run it if he thought he could get it. As he's going over here, he's looking. He says, well, I got something here maybe. And they definitely blocked it for him. But a great play, and that's Danny Robinson coming up along with Austin White to make the tackle.
Second straight turnover on downs for Mary Hardin Baylor. They had in their first two drives 23 plays and no points. They come up with no points again on this drive.
And they sacrificed field position in the attempt.
So your original theory of punting held up. Petroselli motions out of the backfield. Screen down the middle of the field. Caught. And that's the tight end, Moxie, number 7. And it looks like he may have a first down or very close to it. No, they will move the chains.
That's the second time tonight the Raiders have run a tight end screen. And the reason they're going to see more screens throughout this game and draws to try and slow down this Crew defensive line that is beastly and dominant.
Down the middle of the field, receiver is open for a split second, and the pass was just a little bit too much for number 11, Braden Friss, the senior from Avon, Ohio. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And we talked to Friss, and I asked him, how do you beat cover 2? He says, you got to work the middle of the field. Well, they worked the middle of it, and he got himself open. It's just a little bit overthrown by Fulford.
But you can see he was also bracketed.
Yeah, he split those 2 deep safeties, and that's what you try to do. That ball's got to come out a little quicker.
Throwing it again. Caught. That's Friss to the 40. And that's all he's going to get. I'll tell you something else I've seen in this game tonight, Ray. Great tackling from both defenses.
Yes, and that's a primary reason why these are 2 very good and top in the nation defenses, because of their ability to tackle. And I've watched several games of the Crew, and I haven't seen anybody hurt them on the perimeter with those screens that Mount Union just tried right there. They're just too good on the edge. I understand you got to try it, you got to work at it, but there's not a lot there.
Only 25% so far for the Purple Raiders on 3rd down. Pressure coming, in trouble. Oh, he got away! Unbelievable by Fulford. He'll get the first down after it looked like he was going to be sacked. Fanene got in there and somehow didn't bring him down. First down, Mount Union.
Yeah. And Fanene, here he is right here. He's just going to rush the edge and keep working, and he's going to get by Frazier Daniel, and he's going to come, and it looked like he had a chance right there. He grabbed the leg, but Fulford, too strong, was able to get out of it.
Well, that was a spectacular play by the sophomore, D'Angelo Fulford. Going for it all right here. It's picked off, 2-yard line and some room to run. Interception made by Jefferson Fritz. And Fritz is breaking tackles. Finally tripped up, but the flag comes in to the 31-yard line. Fritz is brought down. So Fulford went for it all that time and didn't get it. A 39-yard return by Fritz, his 3rd interception this season.
Great job covering ground by Fritz. That ball was up in the air a long time, but that's why you got those 2 deep safeties.
On the return team, number 41. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Mary Hardin Baylor keeps the ball. First down.
Fanene hit with a penalty there for an illegal block on the return. Fritz, just a freshman from Kaufman, Texas.
Yeah, well, he played that one like a senior right there. And I'll tell you what, that receiver, Justin Hill, was wide open, but Fritz stole it.
Saturday, a bowl triple header for you on ESPN. At 1 o'clock Eastern, it's the Arnell Carriers New Orleans Bowl at the Superdome. Troy taking on the Mean Green of North Texas. Then at 4:30, the Marshall Thundering Herd battle Colorado State. in the Gildan, New Mexico Bowl, and at 8, Middle Tennessee and Arkansas State in the Raycom Media Camellia Bowl. All 3 games are also streaming live on the ESPN app.
Tis the bowl season. Kicking off, baby. I love it.
Let's go. And we really start right here tonight with this Division III championship, the Amos Alonzo Stag Bowl. So after the penalty, Robinson will take his first deep shot, and it is picked. Gabe Brown with the interception. Each team with a turnover, and it will be Mount Union at the 47-yard line following Brown's interception.
And Carl Robinson, the wind ate that ball up on him. And if you're going to miss, you got to miss long, and it's hard to do that into these winds tonight. You're going to see here's the route, and great coverage by Gabe Brown. I mean, he's right in the pocket of Wilkerson, then he got his eyes back to the quarterback, plays the ball, makes a huge play for these Raiders.
So Mount Union gets it back. This is their best field position so far. Evans Morris is back in the game, number 6 in the tailback position.
They went to the 4 wide receivers here. They had huge success with this formation last week in their comeback.
And they get it right to number 11, Friss, who's running across the middle of the field. He is very close to a first down. Tevin Jones brings him down. Looks like they're going to mark him just a little bit shy, less than really a yard to go here. And you notice something else, Mount Union has abandoned the running game.
Yeah, it didn't work out too well for him. And I like this tactic and moving it now to 4 wides and try to attack this secondary down the field a little bit. Chris Kappas, the offensive coordinator, he's changing his tune here.
Fulford bouncing but drifting backwards, throws it off the back foot, incomplete. And for more on Gabe Brown, who just had that interception, let's go to Dawn.
Yeah, that's actually downtown Gabe Brown, guys. According to Coach Karras, Gabe played 2 seasons ago for Mount Union. Left school last year and was working in a bread factory, baking bread back at his hometown in Florida. He worked really hard to get back to school this year. He's their shutdown corner. Coach just raved about him, said he's his guy on defense.
Well, he certainly was on that play. Thank you, Dawn. It'll be 3rd down. And again, very, very short yardage.
Brown brought home the bread.
And running sideways, he ran east and west instead of north and south and lost a yard. Chris Brown, number 2 on the stop. It's 4th down and 2.
The other downtown Brown from the other side. And that's a great play, but I've seen this on film many times from Jawanza Evans Morris. And his problem is he'll try to give ground to get more ground, and you can't do that on a 3rd and short, and he got busted on it.
And a defense that's fast, too. Running wide on a fast defense is trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to go for it here.
4th and 2.
Petroselli comes in, number 23. He'll get it. And he hesitated and fought off a tackle and lowers his head to get a first down.
Reginald Cole, the corner, came up on the blitz, and he had Petroselli stop short of the first down. But Petroselli, he won't go down with just one guy. He's not a big dude, but he is a powerful dude. 5'9", 200 pounds, keeps the shoulders square, keeps the legs driving. That's how you play football.
5-yard pickup and a big first down for the Purple Raiders. Under 4 minutes, 0-0 here for Stag Bowl 45. Number 1 and number 2 in the country in Division III. Pressure here. Fanini relentless. Fulford equally relentless. And Fanini chased him down and brought him down. There's a marker down as well.
Fanini did an unbelievable swim move. It's going to be holding, it looks like, on the Raiders.
Can you blame him?
No. But the move Fanini put on
78, offense. 10-yard penalty.
Fraser Daniel, who got called for the holding, even though his guy got by him. Here's Fanini right there, and watch the way he uses his hands here. This is as pretty a swim move as you'll see. And all Daniel could do was grab him after that. And then watch the hustle of Fanini. He just kept going after it, and then Reginald Cole helped him finish it off.
Fanini had 3.5 sacks in the semis versus Brockport last week. They throw it in his direction over his head, and it will inside the 40-yard line. Jared Ruth, first time we called his name tonight. He had a tremendous game versus Oshkosh a week ago, and we have a Mary Hardin Baylor player shaken up.
Looks like Jalen Martin.
It is number 24, the junior from Round Rock. And we will have an official timeout now for an injury. Second down and 14 coming up.
Boy, Joe.
We will step aside. The training staff will take a look here at the junior linebacker. So Jalen Martin, who's got 4 tackles on the evening, including a couple of solos, able to put a little bit of pressure on what appeared to be a leg or an ankle injury. Hopefully he will be able to come back in the game. They come back with second down and 14, 3:19 remaining in Stag Bowl 45.
And Mount Union has to do something, I think, to help their left tackle, Fraser Daniel, because he's not getting it done against Fanene on a consistent basis.
Now Frazier did a good job that time. Pass across the middle of Petrucelli will get third down and 9 set up as they gain 5 there. That time Daniel blocked him well.
Well, Fanene was out of the game, which made a big difference that time. Now he's coming back in, so we'll see what happens. Again, we saw Fanene go off the field in warm-ups today, limping on his right leg. And they said he had a little fluid on it, and they went and saw the doctors, got a little treatment, and it doesn't seem to have affected him too much.
33% third down for the Purple Raiders. They face 3rd and 9 here, and again, another empty backfield set. Fanene rushes up the field. Fulford knows he's coming, runs away, throws on the run, and caught at the 15-yard line. Great job to come back to the football there by Jared Ruth, the senior from Indianapolis. Deepest penetration for the Purple Raiders, their first visit to the red zone tonight. And they have all of their timeouts.
And this is all on Fulford's ability to extend the play, get out of the pocket, keep his eyes down the field, and find a receiver in the scramble drill. The Raiders are very good at that, helping him out coming back to the ball.
17 yards on that play. Now Petrucelli fighting to get inside the 15. He does to the 13. Second down and 7 coming up. This is a great situation for Mount Union to bleed this clock, too, with those 3 timeouts. They really are in complete control here.
Yeah, and it's getting down under about 1:50 right now, Dave, and they're going to try and milk this thing and end up scoring and leaving very little or no time left for the Crew to answer.
Mount Union looking for a 13th championship in Division III football. Fulford in trouble from Fanene. Threw it. It wasn't. Intercepted by Chris Brown.
He beat it up a couple times and then knocked it out. But that's one you got to make. And I mean, a big game like this, and he's making light of it, and I understand that. But man, that was a late throw and a tough one, and it should have been picked.
And more pressure from Fanene, I think, may have made that throw from Fulford a little bit goofy. Fulford 8 of 15, 81 yards, and an interception. You see what Brown has done in his distinguished career. Like virtually everybody else who's a senior in this game on both sides. This is their last college football game. Well, this is their last college football game and likely their last football game.
Fanene working on Daniel again at the top.
This time he goes inside, and Daniel is happy to push him there, but now more trouble from Millar chasing. Going to throw it into the end zone, tipped and out of play. So now you have the wind at your back.
Oh, yeah,
you certainly are in field goal
maybe.
range here for Alex Lauthan, the senior from
Trying to get
Loganville,
points.
Georgia. Yep. And he's good one, 16 to 21.
I like this throw. It was up high enough to where basically if Hill doesn't get it, nobody does. So a nice attempt by Fulford, but to no avail, and now they'll try this 31-yarder.
You see Lauthan's numbers on the year. He's been steady, and he does have the wind at his back.
The Crew have blocked 3 kicks this year.
Friss is the holder. And we have points on the board. So with 1:15 to go, Mount Union cracks the scoreboard first. It will be Mary Hardin Baylor football to start the third quarter. Right now they got 1:15 and 1 timeout. And a deadly kick return.
Well, that's the thing. And the good news for Mount Union is they're kicking with the wind. And they're going to have Max Rigetti has been the kicker for the most part on kickoffs, and he's got enough leg to put it in the end zone, especially with the wind at his back.
Well, the Purple Raiders, when you think of Division III football, this might be the first name that comes to your mind. And we would understand it if you did. 26 straight NCAA appearances, 32-team playoff they play right now. They're going for win number 99 this year if they're able to get it in the NCAA playoff system. 12 national championships. Out of Alliance, Ohio.
And what a program. You know, Larry Karras, who was recently inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame, he was basically the architect, started this thing rolling, and now handed it over to his son Vince, who's in his 5th season.
And there is Bryce Wilkerson. He had a punt return for a touchdown called back because of a running into the kicker penalty. There is Rigetti, a kickoff specialist. And we asked about squib kicks, and they're like, well, not our best. So we're just not going to.
They tried one at the end of the half last week, and it backfired on them. A short guy picked it up and ran it deep into their territory. And kicked it away from Wilkerson.
Yeah, they kicked it to Chris Brown instead. And Brown almost went head over heels. Great coverage that time. That was Crenshaw who got him, number 3.
Colin Crenshaw, the starting nickelback, also covering kicks. And did a nice job. And I'm telling you, Vince Karras is breathing a lot easier after that tackle.
He can see his own breath as well in these conditions here. Temperature at kick was 34, but it felt 10 degrees colder than that because of the breeze.
And it looks like the crew are just going to try and take a knee and run this half out, the way they're lined up.
Well, that's interesting because we have a minute 10.
Well, Mount Union has 2 timeouts. If I'm Vince Karras, I'm calling timeout when they take a knee. 3 timeouts, excuse me.
Or you take your 3-0 lead and you go into the locker room up 3-0, and that appears to be the strategy there. Now, I've got to admit, I don't remember seeing a team that's trailing going into a half take a knee with this much time on the clock.
No, but I don't blame them if they can get away with it. If Mount Union's going to let them do it, then, hey, you're not in very good field position, and you're going into the wind. 3-0 ain't a bad way to go at half, knowing you get the ball coming out.
But now they get out of that formation, and they run a play instead to Miller, and he'll break a couple of tackles and then get brought down after about a 4-yard pickup. And that may well be the last play of the half. Now there's really no need for Mount Union to call a timeout here.
And they do not have to snap it. So that's pretty much it on the half. But it was curious to me. They took the knee and then they busted out of that and ran it. I don't know, changed their mind or what?
Everybody's heading to the locker room, and we will too. Mount Union halfway to title number 13. Mary Hardin Baylor, the defending champions, will get the football to start the second half.
Not a lot of scoring, Dave, but great football. That was an enjoyable 3-0.
They're riding a 29-game win streak, but they start this half trailing 3-0. Now, they'll have the wind at their backs in this third quarter. And this is the first time Mount Union has had to kick off in this condition. They received the football, obviously, to start the first half, and they're having a hard time even keeping the ball on the tee. So we're going to have to bring out a holder.
I think the wind picked up during halftime, Dave. It's a little chillier in here, and the flags are blowing a lot harder, and they have to have a man come in and hold the football just to keep it on the tee.
No, we just got a text from Dawn saying, you think it's a little chillier up there?
Yeah, right?
So, yeah, but... So this is going to be a challenge to keep it out of the hands of number 1, Bryce Wilkerson, who is standing by at the 10-yard line.
And they're in an I formation. They're not going to let him kick away from him.
Rigetti's going to try, but here comes Wilkerson. No, it's caught by an up man at the 23-yard line instead of Wilkerson. And this is tremendous effort to try to get around the corner, but Mount Union over it. And that was Thomas who took that short kickoff. And it will be at the 25-yard line, I believe they're going to stop forward progress. We're going to take a look at how these two teams plan for success. Brought to us by Northwestern Mutual. So let's revisit the keys to the game.
Yeah, the big plays on offense. Haven't seen one yet from the Raiders. And now the special teams battle, they've held their own on that one, stopping a fake punt and also getting lucky because Wilkerson had that touchdown return, but the penalty stopped it. And then Mary Hardin Baylor has to run the football better in this half. And as Coach said, Carl Robinson has to throw the football. And what he means by that is Robinson tends to hold on to it and is a little gun shy. Doesn't want to make a big mistake. He wants him to turn it loose a little more here.
Well, you saw Markeith Miller pick up 7 yards there before Nick Brish brought him down. So 2nd down and 3. Miller can make a lot of that on his own.
And they need to get Miller started up and get him going a little better too. Had 11 carries for 31 yards. We need a little bit more production out of him. Now, he had a similar start last week and then busted out a 60-yarder late in the game.
They keep it on the ground. And you can see 37 Brish jumping on the back, and underneath him, Trey Williams. That will be short by a couple of yards, 3rd down and 2. You see their drive chart. Really frustrating early on for the Crew to go 23 plays and not get a score.
What amazes me is they only had 4 possessions in that half, and that's been the kind of game it is with the grinded out look. And I'm telling you, everyone is so precious. Every play counts in a big game like this for the title.
First down. Oh, that's so close.
I don't think he got there.
Robinson and Williams. Well, you saw the official from the far side. He has him short. Referee, closed fist. It's 4th down.
Yeah, it's got to get to the 35, and you can see it's about a matter of 5-6 inches short.
So Zane Bowles and the punt team will come out.
And I don't imagine Bowles will try another fake here, but you never know. This is a great play by linebacker Trey Williams of keeping his feet going and pushing back to eliminate the possibility of that first down.
So you've got Ruth, number 21, and Braden Frist, number 11, awaiting the punt. He will punt it, and with the wind at his back, that came shot out of a cannon. 12-yard line, this is Ruth. And that's a pretty nice return. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Jared Ruth, who himself has returned 2 punts for touchdowns this year, with some good field position. Let's review the first half of the sophomore quarterback for the Purple Raiders, D'Angelo Fulford.
And he got out of the pocket a few times, as Coach Fred mentioned, and made some plays with it. But for the most part, he's been running for his life because number 41, A.J. Fanene, has been all over him. Almost got him there, but Fulford was able to get some production.
See his numbers in the passing game, 3 out of 16 on the ground, 3 for 16 on the ground.
He was 16 of 20 with a touchdown and 180 yards last week in the second half.
Now you go to Evans Morris on the ground, and he won't get very much, and you just don't get very much against this Crew defense to pick up a 3 there.
And they are so solid up front. We haven't really mentioned the Brazos Fuller, number 99, a whole lot, but he led them with 6 tackles in the first half. And he's not even the highlight guy. I mean, they've got Haston Adams, who's the defensive player of the year in the ASC, and then the defensive lineman of the year is Fanene. And Brazos outplayed them both.
So on the zone read, Fulford will keep it, and he'll get to the 31-yard line, maybe a little bit short of that. Another short gain. Here comes a critical 3rd down and 4.
I would anticipate seeing more quarterback run here in the second half because Fulford was their most successful ball carrier with 4 carries and 20 yards.
3rd down conversions, 3 of 8 against a defense that surrendered 22% 3rd down conversions. Is it a quarterback draw? He's going to take off, and he's going to run right into Fanene and friends. 3 yellow jerseys around him, including Jordan Millar. A sack. 49 sacks by Mary Hardin Baylor coming into tonight's game. It's 4th down.
This is great discipline in the rush. They got a stunt where they bring Millar around, and then Fanene kept the edge, forcing him inside, and that stunt, Millar ran right into it.
Larry Harmon is the defensive coordinator for this Crew defense. What a crew he has. Now into the wind, Snyder to punt. Here's Wilkerson at the 45-yard line. He's had 1 called back tonight. Low snap, nice scoop. And he's going to go ahead and rugby punt this. Wilkerson came up, and it went over his head. He makes an over-the-shoulder catch, and he was shadowed all the way. Great play by Nick Brish.
I think this is a great play by the kicker as well, as Snyder bought a lot of time for his guys to get down there, then boomed it. Wilkerson got it, but Brish was right on him.
The NCAA Division III Football Championship, brought to you by Sam Adams. Fill your glass. Savor the flavor responsibly.
Old-fashioned, hard-nosed football we're here tonight, and this is a look at the Purple Raiders of Mount Union doing what they have done so many times, 12 to be exact, hold the championship trophy. They're trying to get it back. Last year they were knocked out in the semifinals by 2016's champion Mary Hardin Baylor, and you see what they have done versus Mary Hardin Baylor and what they've done against the rest of the field in this incredible run.
And their defense is playing outstanding, Dave. In the last 4 drives, Mount Union has held Mary Hardin Baylor to 0 first downs.
This is going to be 0 yards. Trey Williams with another stop, number 43 on Markeith Miller.
And he has stepped in for the injured Charlie Deere and played amazing tonight. He's been all over the field. He made that big stop in the previous drive to force the punt. Picks it up here and makes the next tackle again for no gain.
Second down, 10. Robinson, this is a run play all the way, and the quarterback will get 5 to the 30-yard line before he is brought down. Brings up a big 3rd down and 5. Williams is around the play again for the Purple Raiders, and so is Mahokey, number 92.
And we've sung the praises of the Crew's defense throughout the evening, but I got to tell you, Mount Union's going toe-to-toe with them. Well, they're playing great defense.
You know, they held you to under 84 yards per game and under 14 points per game, 84 yards rush per game. So the numbers back up that this is a solid unit as well. Robinson, little throw here. High catch made, though, and it is going to be a first down to the 39-yard line. A terrific catch there by John L. Reed, the sophomore from Fort Worth.
And Coach Fred's got to be happy because Carl Robinson threw the ball. It wasn't like a guy was open, but he got it up high where only his guy had the chance at it. And a great job of going up and getting it by Reed.
First down in a little while here for UMHB.
First one in this was what, last 5 drives now.
Going to try to throw it again here. Has plenty of time. Now the pocket begins to collapse, and down he goes.
They tried to get tricky here and sneak Marquise Duncan out of the backfield. You saw him flash in front of you, and Robinson looked over there, but it was really well read by the corner. Brown stayed home, took it away, and that's why Robinson had to scramble.
So Elijah Berry made that sack. 2 sacks now for Mount Union. Berry, by the way, that's his 10th sack of the season. And the ball's on the ground. The 27-yard line. The exchange did not go well. They're going to mark him down at the 26. That's a big loss. And now it's 3rd down and 23.
And I just read Carl Robinson's lips, and he said, "I'm sorry." Let's see if he has reason to be. They're trying to run a power read, and it didn't look to me like Miller expected the ball. It looked like it was put in there.
Well, they mark it now right at 27 as my first thought, making 3rd down and 22. Mary Hardin Baylor, you know, they've had stretches where they've moved the ball, especially in the first half. But ever since those first 23 plays, it has been a struggle for them. Pressure coming here. Yep, they're going to screen it, and it's going to be incomplete. Don't know if that would have gone very far. It looked like Danny Robinson, number 4, had anticipated that play. And that's another thing. These both these defenses are really well coached, because how many times have we seen guys in position as this play's happening?
Yeah, they're in each other's heads right now. I mean, they know what to expect, and they're so well coached. They get there and they execute. And the key to it, to me, is the tackling. We have not seen a whole lot of broken tackles tonight, or missed tackles.
You got Ruth and Friss awaiting. The scoop on the snap. This got a lot of spin on it. It's going to go out of bounds, and a tremendous play by Bowles that time, again, to scoop it in these conditions and just get rid of it.
Yeah, I don't know if Bowles has a baseball background at all, but that's hot corner stuff right there. One hop, get it out.
Tomorrow on ABC, 2 college football bowl games for you at noon Eastern. It's Grambling, the SWAC champs, taking on North Carolina A&T, the MEAC champs, 3rd annual Celebration Bowl. Both coming in, by the way, riding 11-game win streaks. And at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, number 25 Boise State will run their bowl streak to 16 consecutively when they take on quarterback Justin Herbert and the Oregon Ducks. Both games available on the ESPN app. And yes, I'm aware that I said their streak 16 consecutively. I caught that.
I'm just going to let it go, man.
Yeah, slightly chilled brain.
You're getting brain freeze, no doubt. I hope that hat helps you, because
thank you, buddy.
It's a little chilly.
From the 32 for the Purple Raiders, ahead 3-0. Quick throw. And they've got a lot of room here to work with as the defender played way off of Justin Hill. Let's get down to the field, and Dawn's got an injury update.
Yeah, Mary Hardin Baylor wide receiver Bryce Wilkerson dealing with some cramping. He actually missed that entire last offensive possession for Mary Hardin Baylor. Specifically, his calves is what he's dealing with, specifically the right one. But these trainers have been working on him for quite a while and still at it right now.
Thanks, Dawn. And that's more prevalent than you would think, cramping in cold weather, because guys don't drink enough. They don't hydrate. If you're not thirsty, you're not going to drink a bunch unless you do it consciously. But that's where he went down first, but then the leg locked up on him.
And there you go, a great look from our crew. We want to just send a shout out to the folks who are outside, our camera operators and audio folks who are working out in this cold evening in Salem, how much we appreciate their efforts as well. So we've had back-to-back quick throws from Fulford, 2nd down and 9. Now down the seam, into traffic, intercepted. One more time, that's Fritz, his 2nd pick of the night. Flag again comes in, and Fritz is chased out of bounds along the far sideline.
And Fulford just forced that one. I mean, there was a safety over the top, Fritz, and then there was underneath coverage by a linebacker. He just threw it into double coverage. And I think he had people open underneath, too. He's just trying to do too much.
27-yard return. This flag came during the return.
You see, right during in the middle of the field.
Personal foul. Illegal block below the waist. Number 6 of the return team. 15-yard penalty. Mary Hardin Baylor keeps the ball.
That's Villarreal who was hit with that penalty. So they also had a blocking penalty on Fritz's other interception, which cost him field position.
And Nene got that one.
Yep, this one's going to push it back to the 36-yard line. Still, though, very good field position. 2nd interception tonight thrown by Fulford.
Yeah, and I was saying, Fulford, he had Friss open short underneath. If he had just let him clear a little bit more, and instead he tried to force one down the field, and it cost him.
So now the problem for Mary Hardin Baylor is reigniting their offense. Their first 2 drives, 23 plays and 79 yards. Wilkerson has returned. Since then, they've run 16 plays for just 24 yards. Robinson, quick throw, caught. And to the 41, maybe even the 42-yard line goes Reed, and that could move the chains. And it will. 1st down, Barry on the stop.
That was an RPO, Dave, where they had the run-pass option, and Carl Robinson made the right decision. Pulled the football, had his man on the edge, John L. Reed, delivered the strike, moved the chains. They need to do more of that. I know Coach Fredenberg thinks so.
This wind has gotten swirly. It has even blown some papers into the press box, which is crosswind, and so it's going to be really interesting for the rest of the night to see how they handle this. Robinson is 7 of 11 for 57 yards. Now, late exchange there is going to be no gain, maybe even a loss of a yard for Markeith Miller.
Vidal stepped inside, made the hit.
I'm going to remind you that ESPN's NCAA coverage continues tomorrow with the Division II championship on ESPN2 at 6 p.m. For more information, just go to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. This Salem, Virginia has hosted 86 different championships here, the 70th for Division III.
Championship City.
Yep. But the game is moving out of Salem next year. Robinson, keeps her. And another flag coming in. Robinson bouncing off of a block, but that time number 3, Colin Crenshaw, destroyed the play. And let's see if this is going to be a holding call.
That's going to be my bet.
Holding, number 74, offense. The penalty is declined.
It'll be 3rd down and 11 following that declined penalty.
Yeah, they got Tivion White, the left tackle. Left guard, pulling around, got a hold of somebody. Number 74, you see him on the right side of your screen. That's where they called the hold to reach out and grab at the end.
Low snap, handled easily by Robinson. He'll fire. Coming back to the ball, and it might have been picked. It was at the 49-yard line. The interception made by Lewis Berry, his 13th career pick.
And it was a late throw, and that was the problem. Robinson has to get this ball out quicker. Waited too long and then threw it into trouble. And then Berry, what a play. To get in there and then keep the ball off the turf. It ends up on his chest, and he just turtles it.
2 turnovers for each side, all interceptions. Field position for the Purple Raiders at the 49-yard line. That's Berry's 7th pick this year and 13th for his career. He is a junior from Pittsburgh, so he'll be back.
And it's the 2nd time Mount Union has answered a pick with a pick of their own on the subsequent series.
They'll keep it on the ground. A little room here for Evans Morris. That's the best looking running play we've seen in a while for the Purple Raiders. An 8-yard pickup to the 41-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 2. Millar on the stop.
And watch the center right there, Parrish. He's going to pull out and lead this thing. And Evans Morris ends up putting his hand on his back and says, "Let me ride you, big boy."
Now, he is an AP All-American, by the way, Cole Parrish.
And Hill got hurt at the end of that. Justin Hill got hit in the back of the legs and flipped over and was holding that left ankle.
That's the longest running play tonight for Mount Union, 8 yards. And Parrish, of course, not covering those guns.
It's a gun show, baby. They pulled him again.
Boy, extra fighting that time right at the 39-yard line. Reginald Cole comes up with the stop. Evans Morris trying to get that extra push for the 1st down, and he's short by a yard.
And that's another play where nobody's going to block the corner on a running play, and Cole snuck up in there and made a stout hit. I'm going to run quarterback sneak if I'm Chris Kappas, the offensive coordinator for the Raiders. But they don't go under center at all, so it kind of takes it out of the playbook.
I think you've got 2 chances to get a 1st down here if you don't go back. We don't have to worry about it here. Great blocking by that line. Some of the best we've seen tonight for the Purple Raiders, and Evans Morris got a quick start and a 1st down to the 34.
And Cole Parrish leads the way again, the center. He's going to get himself a block, and he just collapses the one side, and then they pull the other guard over to kick things out. That was a nice hole.
Now Klaus, 68, doing a great job there, a sophomore. And also keeps the ball away from the crew.
And the change that Mount Union's done, Dave, they had the tight end up on the line. And that's the first time we've seen it in this ball game.
And you can see where the play was headed, right where the tight end was blocking. To the 30-yard line, a 4-yard pickup that time for Evans Morris. And Mount Union playing a little keep away here as the 3rd quarter begins to fade.
Yeah, they added a hat to the box. And I haven't seen a response from the crew yet in terms of getting another guy ahead in the box.
Joe Fornaro, 47, has come in. And he is kind of the indicator at the moment where this thing is going. Now Petrucelli is in the game, and he will fight to the 25, maybe the 24 for a first down. They're going to put the ball down 1 yard shy at the 25. 5 straight rushes for the Purple Raiders, and they're going to be third down and a yard again.
And the key to it is Chris Kappas, the offensive coordinator, changed his personnel group. He's got more big bodies in the box, and the crew they're reeling from this right now.
Well, this is an old-fashioned, low-scoring fist fight of a game at 3-0 for the title. Petrucelli for a first down. No gain at all. The crew bites back. It's 4th and a yard, kicking into the wind. I got to believe they're going to go for it.
Yeah, I think so too. And boy, Fulford made a great play on that, catching the snap. It was out wide to his left, and he snagged it with one hand and then got it back and stuck it in Petrucelli's belly without putting it on the ground. That was a great play.
Well, just a wave of substitutions for both sides here.
And more big boys in the ball game.
There's a lot of weight on that field right now.
It's going to be a quarterback run.
And they're going to go with Evans Morris straight in the Wildcat. I can't find him. I don't know how the officials can find him.
And they're going to mark him.
I think he's short based on that mark.
Just past the 25. He's got to get to the 24. I think he got stopped. Mary Hardin Baylor has turned it over twice on downs. It's like Mount Union may just have.
Boy, where that football is, it's short.
It's short. I agree, and I don't know if they're going to have to measure it, but they probably will.
Timeout.
Just to be sure.
That's not a bad idea. In fact, I think it's a great idea by the official to go ahead and do that.
Just don't have any controversy about it.
And also, it's really important for an official to hold that football in this wind so it doesn't roll around.
And I think the mark was right on the spot.
So they're going to stretch the chains out. Not even going to be close. I think they just wanted to give the chain gang a brief workout. That was not close. So the crew holds. Big defense for Mary Hardin Baylor. They'll get it back with 39 seconds remaining.
If you're a college football fan, honestly, don't miss a game right here.
I told you before, King is
Look out here, big hit. Touchdown! What a bowl game.
Yeah, this is a great chance for you to watch some teams maybe you haven't had a chance to see yet, but you've heard about. And hopefully you're enjoying really the start of bowl season tonight, the Amos Alonzo Stagg Bowl, 45th edition. 3-0 for the Purple Raiders over the defending champions of Mary Hardin Baylor, who get the ball back on downs and pick up 3 on first down here in the waning seconds of quarter number 3. Mary Hardin Baylor, a 29-game win streak. Got to go back to 2015, the last time they lost a football game. Mount Union going for a 13th title, and a new quarterback has come in. We're taking a look now, number 15, Kyle Jones. There is Robinson taking notes. Will they get this play off before the quarter is over? Down to 3, 2, they will. Jones in a little bit of trouble, in a lot of trouble, and he's going to be sacked. It seems fitting that a big defensive play is how we're going to close out this third quarter. Wilder and Vidal combining to take down the sophomore quarterback. 1 quarter remaining to determine our national champion. Nobody cares about the weather now. With just 15 minutes remaining to the title, the Purple Raiders in front, 3-0. We have a bowl triple header for you tomorrow on ESPN at 1 o'clock Eastern. It's the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl at the Superdome with Troy taking on the Mean Green of North Texas. Then at 4:30, Marshall and Colorado State in the Gildan, New Mexico Bowl. And at 8 o'clock, Middle Tennessee and Arkansas State. That's an old Sun Belt battle in the Raycom Media Camellia Bowl. All 3 games are also streaming live on the ESPN app as we're taking a longer look at the sophomore, Kyle Jones, now in a quarterback.
And he's a lefty, Dave, and I believe they brought him in to throw the football.
He's going to try here, but he's in trouble and is going to be sacked on consecutive plays. Mary Hardin Baylor had 112 total yards through 3 quarters and 79 of those on their first 2 drives. They just lost a chunk right there as Robinson and number 5, Mitch O'Hara, combined for the sack.
And he had time. I mean, he's got to let that thing go because it was the delayed blitz that actually forced him to move in the pocket. And Mary Hardin Baylor's last 7 drives, 3 of them ended in punts, 2 they gave it up on downs, and they threw 2 interceptions. That's not a very good run for the Crew, but a great run for the Ray defense.
All 3 linebackers in on that sack. Now a low punt. You can see the wind affect that thing as it takes a turn a little bit to the left and dies at the 46-yard line. 33-yard kick for Zane Bowles.
He can't even get a roll against the wind.
No, you really could tell the wind affecting that kick. He didn't get it up super high, but it doesn't matter right now. The wind blowing from left to right, so Bowles was kicking into that. Boy, you feel like if Mount Union can ever find the end zone, a 10-0 lead is going to look really big in this game, the way their defense is played.
You see the amazing number of just 3 interceptions in the previous 14 games for Fulford, and tonight the Crew has picked him twice.
And now he's going to have a hard time finding the snap. He does the right thing and just fell on it. That's going to be a loss back to the 37-yard line of 9 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 19.
And he the center snaps it down low. I don't know if even Fulford was expecting it yet at that point, but he made a great decision, Dave. So many times you see guys try to pick a ball up like that, and it turns into a catastrophe. Limited the damage right there. But now they're stuck in a 2nd and forever.
This is a tight formation here. No receiver is split wide. Petroselli will try to go wide, breaks 1 tackle with a stiff arm and spins and got back almost all of the yardage lost on the fumble. It'll be 3rd down and 11. Chris Brown making the stop.
Yeah, Petroselli was outstanding last week, ran for 132 yards and a pair of touchdowns. And I think Chris Kappas, the offensive coordinator, likes to put him in there later in the game. Evans Morris gets the early carries, and Kappas gives the later ones to Petroselli. And Kappas used to be the defensive coordinator here, and they switched him prior to this season.
And the story is pretty funny how it all happened. Right now, you see Fulford taking off and sliding safe at the 40-yard line and a 1st down as that just opened up wide.
It did. There was nobody in the middle of the field. You're going to see him. This is a quarterback draw. You see the linemen working down the field. The receivers were downfield blocking. But what sold it was Fulford making it look like a pass the whole time.
Kappas, was the coaching staff, got in a van to drive to Iowa State. You see the former Toledo coaching staff, Matt Campbell's group. They get in the car. They're about 5 minutes down the road, and Vince Karras starts and says, "Hey, I'm going to be the defensive coordinator. I'm moving you to the offensive coordinator." That was it.
And they said, yeah, so we got to get the most out of this visit.
Right. That was the other thing. They realized that the whole tone of the visit was about to change. So you see Haston Adams that time, number 96, busting that play up for the Mary Hardin Baylor defense. Be no gain, 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, and you're going to see big 96. I think that's his back set. And actually it's the other side.
So unusual formation. They put 5 out wide, and that didn't work. Jared Ruth caught the pass, and they were waiting on him. And Ruth is slow getting up. He needs a little help, as a matter of fact. He might have been shaken up on that play. He was. And he is having a hard time putting any weight on one of his legs, and he's going to have to take a seat.
And Chris Kappas must have heard us talking about him. He decided to go deeper into the playbook and throw a wrinkle out there.
Yeah, that was an odd formation, to say the least. And we will step aside as the training staff takes a look at Jared Ruth.
Wow. That last play, we got an injury right there. And watch what happens out of this bizarre formation. And Jared Ruth's going to get tackled, and the defender falls on the back of his right leg. And that did not look good.
That sets us up to 3rd down and 10. 11 minutes, 32 seconds remaining in this Stag Bowl. 3-0. Mount Union looking for title number 13, the number 2 team in Division III against the team ranked just above them, Mary Hardin Baylor, the defending champions. The last 2 champions now meeting here in 2017. Time for Fulford. Gonna go for it all. And it is gone. Oh, it looked like it was going to be picked, but no. Touchdown for Justin Hill.
What a throw from D'Angelo Fulford. And then how about the way Hill hung with it and really picked it out of the hands of a couple of defenders in front of him.
Oh, I can't wait to see this again.
Good protection. They double teamed Fanene to give Fulford the time. He launches it up there. It went through the hands. It bounced. It looked like it bounces off the face mask of Hill before he brings it in. Great concentration, staying with the football.
Hashtag that SC top 10. Mount Union gets the first touchdown of the night, tacking on the PAT, and it's a 2-score football game now. 10-0 with 11:17 to go. We had not seen a 20-plus yard play until this 42-yard miracle completion from Fulford to Hill.
The NCAA Division III Football Championship is presented by Northwestern Mutual. Northwestern Mutual, we help you live life differently. And in part by Mazda, driving matters.
There's a little place in Salem called Alejandro's Mexican Grill. That is a 3-pound burrito. Oh, I like putting the queso on there. And this is our crew, folks. This is what we do when we're not playing football or announcing football. We eat. And they're trying to get on the wall. Eat it all. And if you're Lancaster, our director, and Kyle Binder, our replay operator,
you're the burrito man now.
They made it. They made it. They're on the wall. They can come back to Salem 15 years from now with their kids, their grandparents, and go, look what we did. We ate rice, beans, cheese, tortilla strips, chicken, steak, guac.
Until we couldn't move.
And queso. But, as they used to say, permanent food glory. Low kick. Wilkerson. And here comes the show. And the show has been closed at the 5-yard line. Incredible coverage by the Purple Raiders, who seemingly have it all going their way right now.
It really was, Dave, because this was a line drive kick. It's not like it was up in the air forever. Now, Wilkerson, he tried to change direction of the field, but look at the Purple Raiders all over him. I mean, there's 7-8 guys in the picture there covering a kick. You don't see that very often.
Mitch O'Hara had the final tackle at number 5. So poor field position. They're going to say the 7-yard line is the starting point, and Carl Robinson III is back in at quarterback. Kyle Jones is one series, saw him get sacked twice. Yard maybe for Markeith Miller. Now there's plenty of time. Mary Hardin Baylor has all 3 timeouts. That 10-0 score just looks so big to me.
Yeah, it was tough enough for the crew to try to get 1 score. Now they got to get 2.
Remember, the crew pitched a shutout in their semifinal to get here for this championship match with Mount Union. Quick throw, dropped. Wilkerson started the run with it before he had it. 3rd and 10.
And the crew, to me, has to throw the ball down the football field. And they have to throw it earlier than they've been throwing it. Their deep throws have been high and hanging and have been intercepted. Now this one's just dropped, but they've only taken 2 deep shots today, Dave. And that allows the Mount Union defense to play very close to the line of scrimmage. And they can play almost run first every time.
12 yards, their longest pass play for Mary Hardin Baylor today. They need 10 here. We're going to get a timeout called by the Purple Raiders. That leaves them with 2 with 10 minutes and 35 seconds to go. So again, this is the number 1 and number 2 team in Division III. Mount Union number 2. They won this in 2015. Their 12th D3 title, their 12th Stag Bowl. Mary Hardin Baylor knocked them out last year in the semifinals. And Absolutely. That's all part of a 29-game Mary Hardin Baylor win streak that is the best in NCAA football. And by the way, third best is Mount Union.
Yeah, imagine that. Getting it going. But, you know, one of the things that I thought was interesting was when we talked to Vince Karras, he said they spent the whole offseason basically on Mary Hardin Baylor. You know, that they lost in the semis the previous year. Kind of had an inkling that they'd meet the Crew again if they got their act together. So they worked in the offseason on how to go against this defense. And you see Larry Karras, Vince's father, and the legendary Hall of Fame coach here from Mount Union watching from the window.
Nothing worse than watching. Nothing. When your son's involved in something.
Pacing, I'm sure.
Robinson in some trouble here. Robinson, he's going to be sacked for a safety by Nick Brish.
Pop 2 more points on that scoreboard for the Raiders, and Brish has played outstanding throughout the ball game. And Carl Robinson, he was still in the pocket, so he couldn't throw it away because that would have been a safety because he's in the end zone.
He just can't find anybody, and then Brish found him. So it's 12-0, and there'll be a free kick with Mount Union getting the football back. 5 sacks, and now 12 points for the Purple Raiders. Hey, join us a little bit later on tonight. Sports Center, Scott Van Pelt, SVP, will be on after the Rockets and the Spurs, taking you behind the scenes with the 76ers from preparation through their big matchup with OKC tonight. The star of the Spurs-Rockets game will join Scott live after the game, and our NBA insider, Adrian Wojnarowski, with the biggest name on the NBA trade market as he joins SVP. That's coming up on Sports Center. So happy in this weather, I said Wojnarowski somewhat almost correctly. So now a free kick from the 20-yard line.
And it can be an onside kick, and they've got it teed up. So Mount Union's all up in the middle there, expecting that and being ready for it. I doubt we'll see it, but it is a possibility.
Well, you often see these punted.
Yeah, there's a reason maybe they've got it teed up.
This is an interesting looking formation. Nope, no blast away. That's going to hang up. You see the effect of the wind forcing the returner.
Saw an effect right there, too.
What a hit. At the 42-yard line.
D. Jackson, the linebacker and special teams team, came down and made his presence known.
So for a while, we were cruising along at 3-0 until this happened.
Great throw from Fulford, but better concentration from Hill, picking it up on the rebound.
And then this happened.
Nick Brish leading the team with 9 tackles, including that safety.
So off the free kick, as so often happens, you have good field position now for the Purple Raiders, looking to go 15-0.
And the Crew has to do something, start blitzing, trying to knock the ball loose, and that's what they do.
But that also leaves you vulnerable if that running back can get to the next level, and that's going to be a solid 7-yard pickup for Evans Morris. And now he looks to be either a little hobbly or just trying to stay warm.
I think he's trying to stay warm. I'm hopping around up here too. But that was talking about hops. This hot lateral hop to get to the outside after it was jammed up in the middle. That was pretty special.
Let me remind you, he is from Coral Springs, Florida, just a little
down
northwest of
there,
Fort
right?
Lauderdale. 24 degrees is what happens when you step inside your freezer down there.
Probably never saw snow till he came up to Mount Union.
Well, I'll guarantee you that. He wasn't alive the last time it snowed in South Florida. He'll get it again. And that time, the center of the defense just held. He's fighting for an additional yard, though. Look at that. He almost got a first down out of that. He was stiffed at the 50-yard line and picked up 1 more yard.
Starting to get a little championship fever.
Well, that's just it. I think they're starting to smell that title over there.
I agree.
Mount Union.
Great blocking again by the center, Cole Parrish, who just never stops.
And Irizarry, number 50, another South Floridian, by the way, came in with a little bush push, which is legal. You can't pull him, but you can push him. And it's now 3rd and 1.
Big down here for the Crew. Blitz from the corner.
They're selling out, bringing everybody, and it's going to work. A loss. Well, the Crew defense holds when they really had to have it. That was Fanene who led the charge.
They blitzed both corners on that one day. They weren't messing around. If they'd have had 3 corners, they'd have blitzed all of them.
Can you have an 11-man blitz?
Well, they just did. But Fanene made the play, getting rid of the blocker, sticking his chest on the ball carrier, and knocking him back for a 2-yard loss, forcing Mount Union into this punting situation, and that puts Wilkerson in the driver's seat back to return this thing.
Unless he doesn't get a chance. Now, he's had one called back today.
I would kick this one so far out of bounds, you might not find the football.
Good snap. Comes a kick. Low. Wilkerson has it hit his hand. He can't hang on to it. He can't hang on to it.
Ball.
He can't hang on to it. And he gets out of the end zone, and all he sees is purple.
Wow. It's almost like he just said he'd just leave it in the end zone there for a second. Like if it was a kickoff, that'd have been fine, but you got to get on that ball, especially after you touch it. But he's just trying to make a play. This is another good punt. Wasn't able to feel it in the air. Bats it around a little bit, and right here is like, where'd that thing go? He lost sight of it.
Yeah,
he kicked it with his heel.
And then makes a great play to not get tripped up for another safety.
You're right.
But look at this dilemma. You're down by 12, just under 8 minutes to go, and you've got to go 96 yards just to get points.
I'd throw deep right now.
Well, you're into the wind here.
Yeah, but make it a 50-50 ball. Throw it a little earlier than you have been and give your receiver a shot.
5th time starting inside the 20-yard line. Robinson's going to keep it and gets a good block. And Robinson will get a first down and a lot more as he will finally be stopped before it gets to the 20-yard line. Austin White, number 20 and 37. Nick Brish in there. That puts Brish in the double digits on tackles for the night.
Really, just it's supposed to be a zone read type thing, and he just follows the running back, and you can see that Carl Robinson's got some skills running the football, no doubt, but he's got a ways to go in the throwing game.
And Robinson will come through that time with a pass caught by Demetrius Taylor, number 88, only his 8th reception of the year, and now they're playing hurry up. There's a first down to the 30-yard line.
And this is a nice throw. He got it outside the linebacker, hit his guy in the numbers. That's what they need more of and have throughout this ball game. And they're going to 4 wide receivers now.
Blitz coming. Robinson. Line picked it up. Good throw there. And another first down. A diving grab by Reed at the 42-yard line. It's a gain of a dozen and another first down.
Yeah, they're starting to tear up the middle of the field here with these dig cuts. Maybe they found a little something. And Mount Union has gone to a cover 2 themselves, having 2 deep guys. They just can't have anything thrown over their head. That's their thought right now.
No, that's a look that Robinson ought to be comfortable seeing.
He sees it in practice every day.
Now delay. Miller. Wow, you can hear Crenshaw's hit.
Yeah, Miller stumbled into him, and their helmets collided pretty good.
And lost about a half a yard there too, Ray. So
it looked like he was going to go for a minute, and then he stumbled.
Let's call it 2nd and 11 here.
So Crenshaw is trying to shake that thing off a little bit. That was a big hit.
Clock running at 6:14. The Crew has all 3 of their timeouts. About Union 2.
Normally you'd think 6 minutes. That's plenty of time to get 2 touchdowns, but not the way this game has gone.
Robinson in some trouble. He'll be sacked. A 6th sack.
Looks like Mahokey got that one.
And you know what? You got to give some credit to the guys on the back end with the coverage,
no
because
doubt.
Robinson has time early, but that offensive line just can't hold up. It's not fair.
I've heard that before.
3rd down and 13. Clock now at 5.5. And if they don't get it here, I think they're going to have to go for it.
Yeah, they're no more punting in this game for the Crew.
And again, nobody to throw to. Robinson is going to be brought down a 7th time, all the way back to the 25-yard line. That's about a 14-yard loss. And Vidal, a team captain, comes through.
Well, take it back. They're going to have to punt because it's 4th and forever. But great coverage by Gabe Brown. That's where Robinson wanted to go, but the receiver couldn't get off the line because Brown pressed him so hard.
Yeah, and what we need to give credit to that secondary for the Purple Raiders, because they have blanketed receivers and some good ones. 7 sacks, 9 tackles for a loss. Robinson started out hot, hit 3 for 3 for 38 yards, ended up sacked twice. The Wind now grabbing that punt, and Mount Union will check up and actually go backwards just a touch. So Mount Union up by 12, 4:32 to go. They have the football. Isn't it ironic that that's the same number of championships they have, what they have for a school? Defense doing it tonight for Mount Union.
Yeah, they are. They're getting after him with the sacks. Trey Williams gets that one. I mean, we've seen Carl Robinson do this same thing all night long. Nowhere to throw the football. And even when they brought Kyle Jones in, all he did was get sacked twice in his 3 plays. So it's been a rough one. And Big Brish with the safety leads the charge with 1.5 of the 7 sacks.
And Mary Hardin Baylor just the 1 sack tonight. Gave him 50 on the season. 49 now for Mount Union. That's how tightly these teams were matched coming into this game. Now we'll see Petroselli on the ground, and he'll go for 2, well, maybe 1 actually as they back him up. And now,
yeah, it's time for the timeouts.
Yep.
For the crew. Because you got to save as much time as possible. If you don't stop it now, stopping it later isn't going to do any good.
So Mount Union, 427 away from a 13th title, and it would be their 99th playoff win. 26 straight NCAA tournament appearance. They made 29. 20 in the Stag Bowl and 12 national titles. And when we were talking to the Mount Union people, remembering what happened last year when they lost 14-12 to Mary Hardin Baylor, they said, yeah, when we saw the brackets, and we saw who was on the other side of the brackets, we noticed, and we were watching as the brackets got tinier, and we were rooting for them to get to the championship.
I think those guys down there got a little warmer when they saw they were on TV, jumping around.
How do their parents feel?
I don't know.
Hopefully they're not watching. We want people to watch, maybe not their parents. Petroselli in trouble. Down he goes. Great tackle by Tevin Jones, number 5. And it's going to be 3rd down, timeout number 2. Stops the clock at 4:22. Let's go back to 2 years. In Salem, Virginia, Stag Bowl 43. Therese Scott, the quarterback. And Roman Namdar makes a beautiful catch, got the foot in, and it's a championship. They beat St. Thomas 49-35. Scott had 4 total touchdowns. They ran for 330 yards, and that was Vince Karras' first national championship. Certainly not the first in the Karras family, but the first with his son. And what a great story he told about how he got the job.
Yeah, he was sitting in his office, and his dad came in and then closed the door behind him, which kind of got his antenna up a little bit, and he tells his son, hey, Vince, I just resigned, and I recommended you for the job.
That was it.
That was it. Okay, Dad. And they ended up getting the job, and boy, what a great job he's done.
69-4. And a title. And maybe another one. Now a delay. Petroselli, this opens up. Petroselli went up and didn't quite have the hang time, but he got to midfield.
He tried to jump over Chris Brown, and Chris Brown popped up and said, no, you don't.
3rd timeout, last timeout called by the crew. They're out of him. Look at this.
There he goes, and Brown rose up with him. Said, no, you don't. Seen that too many times.
Let's hear from Dawn.
Chris Brown over the field. Gain of 7 on the run by Petroselli.
Hey guys, sorry, couldn't hear you. It's loud down here. Mount Union sideline is getting a lot louder. So Vince Karras says that his dad still stops by practice from time to time. I thought it was interesting. He said now, this year, not as often as he did maybe back when he first took over. He's kind of more of an advisor and consultant for him now. Best advice he ever got from his dad, be your own man. He told us he's really stuck by that, knew he couldn't imitate his father, hasn't tried to be him, but he said he has certainly emulated and tried to match what his dad did as a coach. You can see the respect he has from his guys over here too during this game.
Yeah, Don, every once in a while we're able to look over the other side and see his dad kind of looking very nervous in a booth.
Expectant father expecting a championship.
Ooh, this is a magical kick. Look where this goes out of bounds at the 2.
Adam Snyder's had himself a day. He had the one bad kick, but he got run into on it, and that wiped out the only potential score for the Crusaders on that punt return from Wilkerson. Got taken off the board. But other than that, Snyder's been outstanding punting the football, and that was the cherry on top.
he's preening around the sidelines. Look at this puppy, though. This is a 48-yarder.
Yeah, right where he aimed it.
Yep. I mean, there's nothing you can expect out of Wilkerson to do there. And I love this reaction.
Yeah, he's like, what?
What had happened was out of bounds. So how about this? You're already down. You're having a hard time with your offense. Ray, the last 3 starts for Mary Hardin Baylor. The 7, the 4, and now the 2.
Against the wind, no less.
Yep. Robinson's going to get rid of it here, and it's just not going their way now. Thomas unable to hang on to that pass.
Been a while.
The last time they lost, December 5th, 2015, in the quarterfinals. It's a 32-team bracket.
Went 15-0 last year, 14-0 this year coming into tonight.
Now Robinson's going to keep it, trying to find a little bit of room. He gets flipped by Crenshaw. Number 3 with another tackle. The linebacking core for Mount Union. If you were to give out a defensive player of the game, you'd have to mention all of them as well as they have played tonight.
They have. And last I checked, the leading tackler was Brish, but Danny Robinson had 9, and also Trey Williams had 9. That's pretty good contribution from the linebacking crew.
Against the crew, and Robinson in trouble again. He better get out of the end zone. He'll throw it high, and it is batted out of bounds. Nearly another safety, and it's 4th and 6. What do you do here?
That's a great question. It looks like they're going to punt, and with the amount of time left, there's still a possibility.
Well,
so
maybe they can get a mistake on the punt.
Sure.
Also, somebody could, But if I'll be honest, if I'm Mount Union, I don't touch the ball.
No, I wouldn't even have a guy back
there.
And
They don't. They're playing punt safe, and they're not even bothering with the risk of turning the ball over. And that's a smart coaching move right there. So Bowles will kick it. The only person who's back deep is the back judge.
There is nobody behind this last safety right here.
And into the wind, and again it checks up, and it's a short kick, and stopped at the 36-yard line. He has not been able to get any forward roll on those punts, but it is not easy conditions for a punter into that wind.
And the bad news for the crew here is they burned all 3 last series, so they're running on fumes right now.
We want to remind you to tune in to ESPN 3 for the post-game trophy ceremony. Don Davenport's going to be your host immediately following the game. And you can hear on the opposite sideline from where we are, the Mount Union fans.
Pretty excited.
Yeah.
Interestingly, several of the Mount Union players told us they felt like they let the alumni and their fan base and everybody down last year when they came up a game short. Not so much this year.
So Evans Morris on the carry. And this one's going to taste extra sweet because of what happened last year.
Right. They got a chance at revenge. The team that knocked them off last year, they caught them in the tie game. They couldn't write a better script and take care of business, Dave. They scored 12 points last year against Mary Hardin Baylor and lost 14-12. So they fixed it. They just decided they wouldn't let them score, and they'll get their 12 and everything will be good.
When you consider the weather, what's that line? Revenge is a dish best served cold.
Yeah, it's served cold tonight.
Yep. Barring a complete collapse, major turnovers, and Evans Morris not worried about how many yards he gets. The key here is just hang on to the ball.
And that's what it's all about right now.
2:15 and counting. It's interesting. Our statistician, Phil DeMontbaum, was with me all year and does a killer job. And, of course, Big Dave Lemon, our spotter tonight. Phil hands me this note. The last 5 Stag Bowls have had a total of 272 total points. Tonight we had a dozen.
They packed the defense coming up here to Salem this time around.
Be 4th down. We'll see a snap with probably under a minute to go. Might even see a punt.
I wouldn't even punt it, man. I would just run another play and run that thing right down. Why take a chance on following up a punt snap? I didn't think the field position would matter that much.
And they could also run this down and take a timeout.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to see, and then they'll decide whether or not they want to just run another play from scrimmage or try to punt it in there tight again. But I would not take the chance of my punt operation in this situation. There's less than a minute left.
And you factor Wilkerson into the game as well.
Don't want him to even get another chance at it.
And they're going to get a delay game penalty for what we're going to get.
Could have easily used one of their 2 remaining timeouts.
But again, as you said, field position not that critical here. So if they are going to think about punting the ball, it gives them a little bit more room.
Looks like the punt team just kind of got into that huddle too. Let's see who they bring out. No, that's the offense.
Yes, it is.
I think that's a good decision by Vince Karras. Although is he rethinking it because they're heading back to the sideline now?
You know what? Up 12, 55 seconds to go. The other team doesn't have a timeout. I think there's going to be no such thing as a bad decision. Now they will call a timeout.
Yeah, the play clock had started on them, and they hadn't figured out exactly what they wanted to do, so they used their timeout right there. They still have one left. They're going over it very carefully. They've come too far, worked too hard to let this thing slip away.
And the punter is Adam Snyder, number 30, and he is walking away.
The turning point in this game really was the long pass to Fulford, from Fulford to Hill, who pulled it out of that mess. And then the following series, Brish with a safety on Robinson. And that led us to the 12-0 score that we have right now.
So there you see your punter. So that means they're going to send the offense out for one more snap. And Evans Moore is going to try to get to that marker, and he's out of bounds. He's going to be short, but only by a yard. So that play was well executed.
He almost bounced it up and got it.
And that would have been
kneel down time.
Yep. 49 seconds remaining. And you know, there's also 49 seconds left in the Stag Bowl being played in Salem, Virginia. We mentioned 70 Division III titles have been crowned in this city that has supported this championship with all its heart. And it's going to be going away, possibly never to return to Salem. We don't know that for sure, but it's very possible. Heading to Texas for 2 years, then to Canton, Ohio for 2 years. No doubt it will get a lot of love from those cities. But the city of Salem and the Roanoke area deserve so much credit and so much appreciation from all of the schools in Division III for the way they have staged these championships over the years. I know the folks out here are going to miss it a great deal, but
yeah, I want to throw a thank you out to Kerry Harvey Cutter too. Dave, he's been in charge of this thing for all that time, and just a great guy, and does wonderful things for this town.
Sack number 8. Incredible defensive performance.
Ethan McComb gets on that sack list. The sack parade continues.
Down to 5. This game is over. It's lucky number 13 for Mount Union. They're champions again.
Vince Karras has yet to break into a smile.
Game's over, Coach. You won.
Great respect between Coach Fredenberg and Vince Karras.
Well, and how about what's going on right now on the field? Because pregame, we had the players all come out and shake hands before the game, and they're doing it again after the game.
And that's part of the charm, to me, of Division III. They pay attention to little things like that, the sportsmanship. I mean, yeah, they're competitive, just like everyone else is, but they seem to go at it a little differently, and I appreciate it.
Tonight was the lowest scoring game in Stag Bowl history, and this was Stag Bowl 45. But it was incredibly competitive and incredibly intense.
That was my kind of football game right there.
Oh, I know you love this. I know you love this. Great linebacking play, great tackling, great defensive adjustments being made by both sides, both coaches. A lot to be proud of for both.
Excellent special teams play, and really, to me, that probably cinched it for Mount Union. They played well enough on special teams to not have that be a factor against them.
Mount Union defensively, 8 sacks, 11 tackles for a loss, 2 interceptions, a safety, and they held the Crew to 144 total yards. So much more to come from Salem, where the fireworks celebrate the victory for Mount Union.
That's cold.
The Mount Union Purple Raiders have defeated Mary Hardin Baylor's Crew 12-0 to win a 13th national championship. And Vince Karras, the winning coach, is standing by with Dawn Davenport.
Thank you, Dave. Coach, 13th national title for Mount Union. What does this one mean for you and your kids in this program?
Well, it was special. It's 2 great football teams playing out here tonight. I think really great representation of Division III football. We have tremendous respect for Mary Hardin Baylor, and it was a great football game. Really happy for our young men and for Mount Union and our fans to come out here with a win.
Really, the turning point there was that long touchdown toss to Justin Hill. What was going through your mind during that play?
You know, we felt like we could get Justin on a deep shot, you know, and we hadn't got him yet. And wanted to try one more time. We felt like if we could get 1 touchdown on the board, that could be the difference. And he went up and made a heck of a catch. He's been doing that all year for us. It was a great throw by D'Angelo and great protection by the O-line. It was a big play.
Defensively, 8 sacks, just a dominating performance from your guys. What was the key to the shutout?
You know, I think our guys did a great job against the run game, put us in position to rush the passer, and we have some very good pass rushers. They got after, and we believed in each other, and they got the job done.
Quarterback D'Angelo Fulford also got the job done. How important was he to this offense tonight?
Well, he stayed very poised. That's a frustrating defense to play against. The D-line's getting after you every play, and I thought he stayed poised, and he made the play when we need it. Great game for him.
Last question. You said special teams going to play an important part in this game. How about that?
You know, they have some very talented players on that back end returning kicks, and I thought our kick guys, our punter, our kicker did a great job. Our coverage was good. That was a big part of the game, no doubt.
Congratulations, Coach. We'll let you go celebrate with your son.
Thank you.
Also, he needs to get out of that rather cold and wet suit he's got on.
Yeah, he took that Gatorade ice bath.
Oh, man. Don, thank you. Coach, congratulations. Congratulations to everyone who supports Mount Union football. What a terrific performance they put on tonight, especially on the defensive end. That was just brilliant to watch. I want to remind you fans to tune in to ESPN3 for the post-game trophy ceremony immediately following the game.
Incredible defensive effort from Mount Union tonight, Dave. They allowed only 38 yards rushing, 144 total yards, and it was their linebacking crew who really led the charge, in my opinion. You had Nick Brish with 10 tackles, 2.5 tackles for loss, including a safety, and then Robinson had 9 tackles, half a sack. Williams had 9 tackles, a sack, and a tackle for loss. I mean, they got after Carl Robinson like it was their job tonight, and they did a great job of corralling him, pasturing him, and then getting him down, and just thwarted any attempt at getting something going by this Mary Hardin Baylor offense. It was an amazing performance throughout the night.
They win this game with only 1 play of 20 yards or more. That was that touchdown pass to Hill that we talked about. It's the lowest scoring game in Stag Bowl history, and dominated by 2 great defenses who were brilliant all season long and brought that brilliance to Salem, Virginia for one final time. Stag Bowl 45. Alliance, Ohio will celebrate this one as Mount Union is back on top, as they were in 2015. Don't forget the trophy presentation coming up on ESPN3 in mere moments. For Ray Bentley and Dawn Davenport and our crew, Dave Lamont, good night from Salem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention now to the field for the 2017 NCAA Division III Football Championship Award Ceremony. Let's send it down to ESPN's Dawn Davenport.
All right, thank you. And presenting the trophy tonight, please welcome the acting chair of the Division III Championship Committee, Jack McKiernan.
Yeah, baby. Hey, give it to go. Hey, watch out, watch out, watch out. Hey, watch out. Oh, Bears. Let's go to you, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, man.
We're going to chat here with Coach just a little bit. Coach, 13th national title for Mount Union, second for you. How special is this to be able to stand on this stage and celebrate with your team right now?
It means everything. These guys set a mission last winter to grind out good days and try to get back here and win this thing, and a lot of hard work. We got a lot of people to thank. I'm just really proud of this team.
I know some people said, okay, maybe a revenge game after last year. How special is this for the seniors in this group?
Yeah, we talked about the seniors at halftime. Everybody playing for them, leaving nothing out here, and I think to go out with a national championship in your senior year, there's nothing better than that.
Pretty impressive defensive effort, 8 sacks. What was the key in that performance?
Well, I think it was the coverage down the field. You know, we had tight coverage on those guys, and the quarterback held the ball a little bit, let that D-line get in there and finish plays. And it's a combination, just great all-around defense.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations. And speaking of that defense, let's talk about the most outstanding player of this year's championship with 10 tackles, 2.5 for loss, 1.5 sacks, and a safety. Let's hear it for Nick Brish.
Thank you.
Speech? Uh-oh. Are you a speech kind of guy, Nick?
I maybe a little bit, but I just want to thank everyone, all the Raider Nation, especially my parents. They're the ones that made this happen from day one. I got a lot of past coaches, present coaches, and all my teammates. I love you guys all, and this one's for Mount Union.
Let's go! There you go, Chris. Hold them both. I love y'all. Let's go.
Yeah, Coach. All right, congratulations, Nick Brish. Congratulations, Coach Chris. Congratulations, Mount Union, on your national championship. We'll let you celebrate with your fans.
On behalf of the NCAA, the City of Salem, and the Old Dominion Athletic Conference, we thank you for your attendance at the NCAA Amos Alonzo Stagg Bowl. Please remember to join us in Shenandoah, Texas, this time next year for Stagg Bowl 46. For more information on this or any of the 90 championships sponsored by the NCAA, log on to ncaa.com. Again, our final score of the 2017 NCAA Division III Football Championship game, Mount Union 12, Mary Hardin Baylor 0. So long from Virginia's championship city, and please travel home safely.
Thank you, Salem. Thank you.